Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We're just getting started, and I'm super excited. Happy Saturday. We're just going to give it a few minutes as everyone's, coming on board. Really, we're going to have an awesome Saturday. Happy Saturday. As more people are joining, we're just giving it a little bit of time. And use this time for a couple of things. One is make sure you have pen and paper and maybe have a little cup of tea or your coffee. We're going to be here for about 1 hour, so you want to make sure that you definitely have some pen and paper, take some notes. I'll be repeating myself a little bit as more people are coming on, but welcome everybody coming on board. um, and a couple of things, just some housekeeping. Um, we do, if you're on video on Zoom, um, and a couple things. One is you can, if you want to show yourself, you can. If you go to the left-hand side, looking at your screen, there should be some mute, but I'm going to have everyone unmute right now as I give the presentation. But there's a video if you want to show yourself, but you don't have to. Um, get paper and pen so you can take notes. We're going to go through a lot of stuff. I'm going to go really fast because I want to give you everything I can. And get some tea, some water, close out all your apps and on your computer and turn your phone off. You want to concentrate 100%. You don't want to miss one little thing, because the information I'm going to share with you today is pretty freaking amazing. You're not going to see this anywhere, and it's going to really make a difference in your life. Welcome. Happy Saturday for everybody new coming on board. We're going to get started in 2 minutes. I just like to give 5 minutes to get everybody a chance to get on. Happy Saturday. I know new people are coming on. Wow, we just have such a great community of everyone wanting to just change their lives and have an amazing love. And I'm, so honored to be here with you. Oh, another thing too, get familiar. If you're on Zoom with me, I think a lot of you are. I think that's the only thing I provided. Get yourself familiar with the chat. That is, how come I don't see the chat here? That's weird. I don't know what, I haven't done a webinar in a while or a class. It's been like a couple months, and they change things all the time, as you know. Is anybody, see participants? I'm just getting started with the class. Oh, there, I see the chat. Okay, yay. All right, everybody. So good to see you, Sasha. Yes, I think I am going to do I'll have the replay so you can take if you want to go back and listen to it. Yeah, get yourself familiar with the chat, like, by saying, where are you from? I love seeing where everybody's from, because it's pretty amazing. We have people all across the country come into the class, from Australia and Canada and Europe and United States, China, the Oxford, UK. And this is just so exciting. It's very exciting. Okay, your connection's choppy. I gotcha. So the chat is a good place, just so maybe, there'll be times that we will be doing Q&A at the end. I'll leave some time for that. So you want to stay until the end. I'll have a special opportunity for you too. And so we're going to get started. We got everybody familiar with the chat where you can type in questions, because that's the easiest way to do the questions, because it can get kind of noisy. But all right, let's get started. We're at 10:06. Welcome everyone. So happy to have you here for your quantum love shift. I mean, that even sounds exciting to me. Quantum love shift. Amazing. And where the heck am I? Does everybody see me? Oh yeah, there I am. I just wanted to make sure everybody could see me. And how do you attract a lasting love, a loving and fun soulmate right now? And how is this really even possible? And even during a pandemic or any other circumstance in your life, right? And so I'm going to be sharing how can we do that? I'll be sharing my story a little bit. Some of you have been on my webinars before. This is going to be a little bit different, but I'm real excited for you. So let's get started. And please have some patience with me, because technology can be a little tricky sometimes, as we know. And yeah, like right now, I can't. Okay, next thing. Okay, so let's first start off about you. Like, how are you feeling? And I know, like, okay, let's talk about, number one, do you even cringe when you hear the word online dating? And you're like, I'm so tired of wasting my time. Another bad date, another rejection, the weirdos that are on there. Are you really cringing about that? Because, during this time in the pandemic, we know a lot of us we might have not tried online dating. We might have tried it in the past. We might have tried online dating right now, or, even trying to meet somebody at the grocery store, right? And we're finding that it's been really challenging, so what's been going on with you? And you can type in the chat too. It's really good because we have this connection with everybody, that you're not alone in this. You're not the only one going through this. And have you tried everything? Even before the pandemic, did you try therapy? Maybe you tried an expensive matchmaker. Maybe, you're reading books, you're listening to the podcast, and you keep coming up short and finding a great man. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, why the hell is this so freaking hard, right? And maybe your heart is heavy, especially during this time. If you're single, and it can be 10 times more challenging because you're having to be alone, right? And it's like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this anymore. And it's really important to me to have a special love. And is it just tough? And maybe you're even thinking, I'm a little envious of my friends. I know I used to. I mean, I used to, start crying when I'd be walking on the beach and I see a couple hand in hand, because I'd be like, what the hell? What does that woman have that I don't have? And and we know, like, hey, I'm not a bad looking woman. You're probably thinking to yourself, I'm smart, I'm fun. That you're a catch. And why is this hard? And you are afraid of getting burned again. You're afraid of the rejection. You're afraid, ended up with a jerk. And these men, they come across as they're catches, right? They seem like they're good guys, and they end up having these emotional and hidden issues, which can be really even the biggest disappointment. And believe me, I've been through all this. I'll be sharing my story. And maybe you bury yourself in your work, because you can do that. Because it's just like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this dating. I'm tired of it, and I just can't stand another failed date. So in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can find a lasting love less than 90 days. Some of my clients had found love within 30 days. Even when you've been single for a long time, and even when you've had a cycle of bad relationships, and even during this pandemic, I'm telling you that you can. How to see yourself as an amazing, successful, competent woman that can find love. Okay, that's a big thing, because right now you might be, we kind of feel like, and I talk to women on a daily basis, and we do start to get down on ourselves, that we feel like there's something wrong with us. But you're not. There's not. There's nothing. I'm here to tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. um, and that you are an amazing, successful, confident woman that can find love. And how do I avoid these men with these issues? That's the big one, because we don't want to waste our time anymore. We want to find someone that wants to commit, that adores us, right? That gets a kick out of us. And how do we navigate this dating process with confidence, especially now during a pandemic? It has changed, right? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Of course, there's some changes, and there's some different, we have to do things a little differently, but I'm telling you that you can find love. And I will give a little tips on that, of how you can do that with more confidence and feel safe, right? Because that's really important to us. And another thing that's really important is, how do I connect to this softer side, this feminine side that everybody keeps talking about, right? Um, and it maybe seems kind of hard to you, or that seems out of reach. And so there are certain shifts, and I call them the quantum shift. And there's different things that are involved in this love quantum shift. But once you make this shift, it can change like that, like no kidding. Like your love life changes, your life changes, and you will have a man that wants to be there for you, that wants to give you that shoulder to cry on, or make you laugh, or spend time playing games or watching TV, or and like when this man looks you in the eyes, without a doubt that this man totally loves you, adores you, and there's no doubt, no doubt at all, that this man is going to be by your side forever. And you will have that deep connection. You will be spending the holidays together. I mean, I know that was a big one for me, especially New Year's Eve. I hated being single at New Year's Eve, because with balls dropping and everybody's kissing and they're at these parties, and and Valentine's Day comes right after that. I mean, we all have these, these holidays. We go, we're around our family, and they make their little comments like, "Oh, you're still single," and they try to give you advice, and you're just like, "Oh my God, I can't take this another time." So you can tell that I've been there. So my name is Kim Quick, Kimberly Jane Quick, and I had found myself at 40, single, and never been married. And it wasn't like I wasn't out there, because I was. I mean, I dated a lot. I mean, I hate to admit, I probably dated over 200 men. And not only that, I was single for 15 years. I could not have a boyfriend or a committed relationship to save my life. And so I did online dating. I had friends fix me up. I used to go out, all the time. And remember, most of my people, guys, that they didn't want to make a commitment. I thought I thought that they liked me. I thought that they were, wanted to, one guy I spent 2 years with. Um, and thought something was going there. We had great sex. He was smart. He was charming, charismatic. We had a great time together. However, he didn't spend the holidays with me. It seemed like I was doing most of the work. And then it ended up, I finally asked him, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a commitment. Like, I'm the one that had to bring it up. And it just didn't, I know kind of in my heart that something wasn't right about this, but I wasn't listening to my heart. There was something else going on there where I was ignoring the signs. And ended up, when I asked him, did he want, was he looking for a commitment? He said, oh, I'm too busy. I have something going on at work right now and I don't have time for a commitment. And, and I knew, okay, well, yeah, all right, this is over. But then 2 weeks later, I found out he got engaged. He was engaged. My friend told me. And I remember just deep down, like I fell to my knees and started crying when I heard that, because it was so heartbreaking. The biggest thing is, it's not that he didn't want a commitment. He didn't want it with me. And it didn't stop there. You think I would have learned from that? And I kept dating these same type of men. We call it this, the same man with a different face. And finally, I got tired of it. I was like, you know what? Something's not working here. I'm the common denominator in all these relationships. It's hard to admit at first, but I could see it. A good friend of mine pointed it out. And I decided at that point that I was going to do something about it, and I was going to take responsibility for my love life. And I was going to do whatever I could to change this around. So this is one little step. I don't have a slide on this or anything, but one thing you want to pay attention that's going to make a difference in your love life is that you take responsibility for your love life. And it's not about blaming you. We're not blaming you for what has happened, or there's something wrong with you. But when we come from a place that, okay, maybe there's something that I need to learn here about myself, that would make a difference, it's empowering. So woohoo, that's what we want, is empowerment. And I want to actually acknowledge all of you for being on this training today, because that's your first step. You're taking responsibility. You're like, I want to learn. And we're on a Saturday, right? You could probably, be out working outside or whatever you could be doing. We're watching some Netflix movies right now, but you decided to be here, and I want to congratulate you, and you want to congratulate yourself. You want to lift yourself up. So anyway, I had a little segue in there. So, so with that, I ended up learning what was missing. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the things that were holding me back. And I did learn some skills. I learned online dating skills. I learned how to be in your feminine, understanding men, the beliefs that were holding me back. I did this for 6 years, studied all of this. I kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it. And I started to see I was dating higher quality men that wanted to spend the weekend with me, men that adored me. They were just, treating me like a queen, like I won it. And I knew I was on to something here. And I still wasn't meeting the one. I ended up writing a list of 30 items that I wanted. I had a vision of what I wanted. That's another thing that's very important, that you have your vision of what you want in the man in a relationship. And ended up, I had met somebody that didn't work out. I met him at a party and it didn't work out. And I did this final tweak to everything. 2 weeks later, I met my husband on Match.com. 2 weeks. And there's a special search feature that I put in there. One of the things I wanted to have is a man that liked to sail. And 5 guys came up. The third date was him. And that's how it happened, like that. And then my life changed. And we've been together um, for 8 years. I did get eventually, I met him at 46. We ended up taking some time, really getting to know each other. I got married at 52, and we ended up getting married in a harbor with this sailboat. I mean, it was freaking amazing. And we've been, like I said, we've been together for 8 years, and it is harmonious, loving, and beautiful. Really, my soulmate, my best friend. We have great sex. We have fun together. Everything is there. So let's dive in and let's get to the specifics of how this happened. And so, all right, number 1, we have 5 shifts to how do you have this lasting, loving chemistry with an attractive, committed man. Even when you've been single, even during pandemic, I really want you to start to get that shift, that it's possible no matter what. Okay. Now let's talk about why am I calling this a love quantum shift? What is a quantum shift? You might even say, like, what the hell is it? It's where you envision this desired result, and you change your energy, you change yourself, and really clearly seeing what's possible that has you leap in a different reality of what you already have. So we have our current reality. Is it either you're single, or maybe you're in a relationship right now that's just not working, not what you want. And so we can shift this with a quantum shift by shifting the reality, and it's by shifting yourself. That's where the quantum love shift comes into play. Okay, and that's why this works when you've tried everything else and nothing else is working. So next slide. So number 1, and I talk about this a lot, and I call it releasing your single string. And this is a big one. This is the major shift that you have to do, because all the other ones won't work unless you do this. Now, what is your single string? Your single string, imagine, is this string that wrapped around you when you were 4 or 5, and then it wrapped around your calf. You're in your teens, and you're around your hip. You're in your 20s. Wrap it around the whole body. It's coming up around your throat, and now you're maybe in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, right? And it's embedded. You're not aware of it, that it's embedded, but it is constricting you, and it's keeping you stuck as being single or in a relationship that's not for you. And got a little picture here. And maybe it's never been challenged. And this is the reason why we keep getting in the relationships that aren't working for you. Or maybe you struggle being in your feminine. You might feel like it's, you know what, it's too hard for me about this being in the feminine as they talk about. It's because of the single string. Maybe, and I hear this a lot, that men will say, women say, well, I intimidate men. And you might have heard that from other people that say that you're intimidating. Maybe you accept the crumbs because deep down you fear that you can't get anything better, especially when we start getting, older. We will settle more because we have this fear that, oh, I'm not going to be able to get anything better. And especially even now, you might even be in a relationship right now, and because of the pandemic, you're like, oh, I don't think I'll be able to find anybody, so I'm just going to stay where I'm at. Really deep down, you're unhappy. You're not living the life that you desire, but you have this belief. This is your single string, or you have this inability to find quality men. You know, you keep dating these men that don't want to commit like I did. And this single string is actually made up a bundle of threads consisting of your beliefs, your thoughts, and your feelings raveling through your body. And this is where the quantum comes in, because we are made up of energy. Our bodies would not work if we were not made up of energy. Our heart is pumping, our lungs are working, the blood is flowing all through us. You want to get, because this isn't woo-woo stuff, this is scientific. Our bodies are energy, all of us, and we are all connected. Now, your energy of yourself is made up through our feelings and our beliefs. You know, even like if we see, something's dangerous, right? We might see, I don't know, I'm making it up, right? A lion. And what do? Well, the adrenaline builds up and we run, and that's our body's mechanism. Well, that was a feeling that came through. That was an energy state. And so, why this is so important is, and we want to unravel, what is your energy state? How are you feeling and believing? Now, are you in fear state? Now, I know we have a lot going on because of the pandemic. And, can we still be in a optimistic, inspiring, possible, and feel good no matter what? Because we have the choice based upon what we want to believe and what we want to feel. And this is the only thing that we can control, right? Is ourselves. We can't control what's going out there in the world. We can't control what other people are doing. True happiness lies in ourselves, what we're believing, what we're seeing, and how we're feeling. And this is one of the things too, is that and so here's the two-step process to releasing the single string. Number one, we got to look at, okay, what are your beliefs? So start writing those down. That's a great way that you can start to be aware of them. Like every day in a journal, well, I'm feeling fearful, I'm feeling sad, or, I'm feeling let down or frustrated because I'll never find love, or because, I'm not good enough, or I'm fat, I think I'm fat, or I have these issues, or I come from this family, or I continue to meet the wrong men. What is going on in the mind? And you want to start to create a new belief that's going to be more empowering, that's going to be more fulfilling. And that's what's going to create the new results in your love life. Not, and I'm not saying strategy doesn't work, because we'll talk about that. But the strategies, the online dating is not going to work. The feminine, being in the feminine is not going to work. Being fixed up, matchmaking isn't going to work unless you work on this. And not only do you need this to find the one, you're going to need it to have that fulfilling, long-lasting relationships. Because if you don't know yourself and you don't know your beliefs, it's going to affect your relationship. Because guess what? We're energy, we're synergy, we're connected with each other. And so I'm going to share you a story about how this is even important in a relationship. So my husband and I, it was probably about 6 years we were together, and we started to go through something as a couple, and this happens, and this is why, there's such a high divorce rate, because we don't have the tools. We're not taught tools on how to be in a relationship, right? And I didn't have great role models. I really didn't. I actually came from a very dysfunctional family. And so, and all along, of course, I'm learning all this stuff. And, but, I'm human, right? And I ended up, my husband and I were arguing a lot. And I was scared. I was like, oh my God, are we heading for a divorce here? You know, because we just couldn't stop arguing. And something had shifted. You know, I wasn't being the way I was when we first started dating. You know, I was looking at all his faults, you know, and we tend to do that. We get more comfortable in the relationship. And so I said, okay, wait a minute. I know that I have to look at my beliefs here. What am I believing here? You know, why am I focusing on all his negative things? And I just actually turned around and changed it. I started to say to myself, I deeply love my husband. And I didn't tell him. I started saying this like 10 times, 20 times a day to myself, and just actually pulling in the feeling of I deeply love my husband. You know, I remember that feeling that we had when we first started. And I did it for 2 weeks, and we started to fight less without doing anything else. And at one point, I'm standing in the kitchen and he was sitting at the table. And I just said it to myself again. And I looked at him. I said, I deeply love my husband. And I really looked at him. I said, oh my God, I really deeply love him. He's so amazing. Like it shifted. That was the quantum shift, right? Without me even saying that I loved him, he said to me, Kim, you know what? I love you more today than I did when we first met. Oh my God. I'm right now, I have chills just when he said that to me. I mean, um, can you imagine like a man saying that to you? Like he loves you more today than he does 8 years ago. And that's how, so this is how it works, right? This is how it works, but like that, without you having to go through years of therapy and having to and this is how you keep having this harmonious loving relationship. What I'm teaching you now, what you're going to learn in dating, you're going to learn this to keep that relationship at the most optimal level, like it's your dream relationship. Okay, thank you for letting me share that and getting a little emotional. And so speaking of which, Sarah, who came to me, she did online dating for many years, kept meeting the wrong man. And within 30 days of her and I working together, she ended up meeting this gentleman. And one of the biggest things too was she became, and this is very important, that you become very clear on what you want. Um, and that it's okay for you to have high standards. But so that's the first thing, the vision. Without, you know, God talks about this in the Bible. Without vision, people perish. What is your vision? The right vision. Because you might have some vision of what you think a relationship is or want, or what you want in a man. But what's really important? What's really deep down, and how do you want to feel? That's the more important thing. And she's still with this gentleman. You know, this is actually, she wrote this to me at least a year ago. And she's having the time, you know, of her life. Okay, let's see. Somebody is, let me just double check here. Somebody's on here that I can't mute or something. Make sure you're muted. Okay, next thing, you must have high standards. A lot of times we've been told, oh, you're being too picky. And that is not true. You want to be picky about the right things. People who have high standards actually have better, more satisfying, lasting marriages, right? You don't, you know, you accept nothing less in other areas of your life, right? You go to the best vacations, the best, you know, where you live. Why are you settling for the most important person in your life that you're going to spend the rest of your life with? Can you see how, you know, you got to know me. I'm from New Jersey, and I tell it like it is, right? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be honest with you. But if you don't have high standards, you're going to keep wasting your time with the wrong men. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to argue. You're just not, and you could get married and divorced again and again. So now, why don't we have high standards? Or how do you, maybe you don't know how to discern. Maybe you know what you want, but you don't know how to tell if this man is in alignment to what you're looking for. There could be a belief that you have to, like I said, maybe you feel you have to settle. Maybe, something you learn from your role models, that that this is the type of person that would be good for me, right? There's so many scenarios that we want to uncover to find out, why is it that you're settling and not being a woman or a man who's worthy to have the love and life that you desire? Because I'm here to tell you right now, you are worthy. And that's one thing you want to start telling yourself. I'm worthy. I'm worthy to receive the love that I desire. Okay. Christine, she was 34 when she came to me. Well, usually I work with women in their 50s and 60s. She was a young one. But she, and thank God, I mean, I wish I would have done this when I was her age, but she ended up, she was dating the wrong men. We looked at, why was she settling? We looked at her beliefs, and like that, she met this gentleman online, and they're engaged, and they are having the time of their life together. And so she had texted me, and she goes, I followed the coaching and also learned to raise my standards in dating. It wasn't easy in the beginning because I doubted myself and I needed to change my mindset on dating. But once I did, I got the results I was looking for. Thank you again, Kim, for your coaching. I'm very blessed I found John. That's like, oh, this is what I get. This is my passion, and this is why I do what I do. When I get a message like this and changing the life and of someone, it's a blessing, really. So next, okay, love map strategy. So we have not been taught how to date. We haven't had great role models. It's not like we go to school and there's like dating 101, right? Or relationship 101. How wonder we have a divorce rate of 70%, and then you get married again. They say you have another 70%. I mean, it's high, right? But it's not that there's something wrong here. It's just what's missing. What's missing is we're not being taught how to do this. So let's look at this love map strategy. So I went through all that. Old school way of dating, blindly getting out there without a plan. Like, we have plans for everything. We have plans at work. We have goals and intentions at work. Maybe even in your household with your kids, you have a plan. You have a plan to go buy a car. You have a plan for your retirement, right? Why don't we have a plan for dating? You're trying to get advice from your friends and family. You're leaving your love life to hope and a gamble. Like, just, let's roll the dice. It's a crapshoot, right? And we've been taught, oh, it will happen when you least expect it. Bullshit. That does not work. Leaving it to, it'll happen when at least expect it. And well, right now, at this point in our lives too, there's, number one, online dating is probably one of the best ways that we're going to be able to meet someone because of this, the physical distancing that we have, right? We're not able to have events to go to, to meet someone. However, there's not only online dating, there is virtual online dating virtual events. There is virtual networking. And even, if you have a dog and you go to the dog park, you can talk to somebody with physical distancing. So even taking a walk in your neighborhood, all this is possible. Even, if you're really like dead set against online dating, but you see how if you could tap into that and how this can be exciting versus some of you might be saying, oh my God, I'm never going to meet somebody. This sucks, especially during this time. I'm scared. I'm blah, blah, blah. Change it. Change the way you're going to think, right? So this old, love strategy, like I said, this is where you're getting frustrated. You want to give up. You start to think it's you. You're wasting your time. New way. You're going to have a plan. You're going to have a vision. You're going to be intentional. One of the things is intention. Let's talk about intention real quick. Intention is what's going to change you can create intentions to change that state within you, right? So an intention, I intend to, I'm just putting this out there. I intend to be fun and excited about dating and meeting the love of my life who adores me and loves me, and we're in a committed partnership. Now, that's something to live into, right? That's exciting. And you want to write it down and you create your own, but you write it down and you say that every day. How is it that you want to feel when you see? That's where we got that body, mind, and soul connection, because this is what's missing too. And just saying affirmations, they don't work. I'm sure some of you are on here and tried affirmations, and that's why they don't work, because we haven't pulled in the heart. We're trying to change our mind, but we're not changing the heart. We're not connecting to the body. How are we feeling in the body? Well, I'm going to create, I feel excited. I feel loving. I feel playful. And we want to pull that feeling in. This is what makes the shift, is pulling in the body, mind, and soul, right? And then the other thing is, once we do all that, then you learn some dating skills. And dating skills are, how do I communicate with the opposite sex, or maybe, if you're with the same sex, whatever it is. Overall, how do I communicate in a love relationship that's the most optimal level? How do I read profiles that can tell me a little bit about the person? How do I message? Well, I'll get into that in a second, because we're going to talk about online dating. But you get that you need some dating skills, right? You're probably thinking, yeah, I do. I've tried this on my own, and it's not working. So I talked about all that. And Deborah, 59, psychologist, you think that she, would know how to find love, given that she studied this, but no, she'd been through 2 divorces, and she was doing online dating. It wasn't working. And she came to me, and she even said to me, I am not doing online dating. I said, okay, we're going to work on you feeling good. We're going to work on your beliefs. We're going to change your mindset. We're going to change your vibration. You're going to be feeling good about you. And it was about 6 weeks with her and I working together. And she said to me, I'm ready to do online dating. So we had a quantum shift, a shift change, right? That she was excited about doing online dating. She let go all those beliefs that it wasn't working, and now she was in this. So anyway, she ended up meeting somebody 4 months later, and she's happily married. They got married a year later, and she had sent me this note. It's been a year and a half since I met Dan, an amazing, loving, kind, generous man. He's never failed in that year and a half to bring me flowers every week and to hold me when I cry and laugh with me every day. Now that is, an amazing story. Here she is, 60 years old. She found love after 2 divorces. Quantum shift, quantum love shift. This is how, we go from one state to the next. Let's talk about online dating. I hope you're not cringing now. let's see, how can we make online dating work? Now, why is online dating good? Of course, it is a great way to meet people while you're at home. Actually, 30% of people that get married met online. I know probably people that you've met in your life that met online have good marriages, and they're cute couples. So we can see that it works. And that's one thing too. If we see it works for one person, why wouldn't it work for you, right? And even couples who meet online are much more happier and have much more enduring marriages. You know why? Because you get to really pick someone in alignment to what you're looking for versus, your friend setting you up on the blind date. I can't tell you how many blind dates I went on. I'd be like, what was my friend thinking that guy was for me, right? Or if you went in the past, when we've gone out and you try to meet people there, you don't know what you're getting for the most part. And I know there's flaws, and we'll talk about the flaws of online dating. It can work if you do it the right way. You have to do it in an intentional way. And it's cheap, right? What are you paying? I don't know, $30, $50 a month. Some people, I know women have come to me that spent $5,000, $10,000 on a matchmaker, and they didn't get the results that they were looking for. One of my clients who came to me, she had hired a matchmaker. She was single for 10 years. She said she didn't get the ladies sent her the men that weren't, what she was looking for. And this is one of my most successful clients. She found love within 30 days. And, but she met the love of her life in 30 days, but I still had her date other men for a couple months. So not to get, because it takes time to get to learn somebody. But she ended up being committed to him. And a year later, she was married. I mean, quantum love shift. Okay. Let's look at online dating. How do we be successful? Well, number one is, choose the right site. It's okay to have those non-paid sites, but have at least one paid site like Match.com or eHarmony, because there's going to be, a more of a commitment of wanting to find love, people who are willing to pay. Choosing the right pictures are so important. I can't tell you, like, that's one of the things I do is I'll review your pictures for you, and because we can't see beyond ourselves, right? Having no blurry pictures, that has to be bright and fun, showing your best self, right? Having an enticing, authentic profile, really, the essence of you that really draws people in to see, wow, when they read it, they're like, wow, I really would love to get to know this person. How do you maximize your search to meet quality men and screen them before the first date? That is very important. That way you stop wasting your time. And there's certain ways that when you're messaging back and forth, there's questions that you can ask that screen them before, and during this time, you're mostly doing what I would recommend to stay safe, is that, you do try to have some of these virtual, doing video. And you can, and so you have to change your mindset around this, right? The video, and think, okay, how can I be flirty and playful and have fun with this? For example, it might be like, okay, maybe it's your third video chat, right? And you decide, you know what? I'm going to say, we're going to have a romantic dinner, virtual dinner together. And you could light a little candle and tell him to light a little candle, and you'll have a glass of wine. You both have a meal, and you can each talk about your meals. There's so many things that you could do to make it fun and get creative. And then guess what? You're the one that stands out, right? You're like, the man's like, or the woman, whoever, the opposite sex, is like, oh, wow, this person's a lot of fun and creative and wants to make the best out of the situation. And that's what men or anybody's looking for, is who is somebody that, you know, if I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, how are they going to handle tricky situations? How are you going to be, right? Um, and then, you know, when you're ready to meet, you know, of course, you want to have those conversations of, you know, and there's another thing that we hold back on, really sharing what we need. What do you need? Do you need to meet somebody and they wear a mask? You need to say that up front. You know, we always do this in a nice, respectful way, but you have to speak up for your needs. And that's another thing in a harmonious, fulfilling relationship, is being able to speak up for your needs. A lot of times we don't. And then we get resentful, and then we're not creating boundaries for ourselves. That is very important. That was a big thing that I had to learn, and it all really came down from feeling that I'm important and I deserve to get what I desire, and I'm going to ask for what I need. And, you know, when you start asking for what you need in the beginning is when, you'll see if somebody's going to fulfill on that need for you. It will tell you a lot when you ask for what you need, if they're willing to give it to you or not. Like, you should be able to see that within 3 dates, and that will tell you if you should move forward or not. And so, like I was saying, you know, maybe you meet in a park, you have a mask on and you can walk, you can have your physical distancing. Maybe, you know, you can still meet somewhere where you can still eat. You know, you just got to get creative. And then, you know, having conversations, you know, when, you know, and the other thing too is now you get the chance to really learn and get to know somebody without getting intimate, without hopping in the sack, because you can't, right? So you're going to, you know, you're going to see who's going to stay around and who's not during this time. And more people during this time want to find love, just like you do. So the opportunity here is like priceless. You have actually, you might think during a pandemic that it's going to be 10 times harder to find love, but it might be the other way around, that it's actually 10 times easier to find love. You have got the perfect opportunity to find love right now, because single people, you know, because they've been home, really get connected with, wow, what's really important to me? I want to be in love, right? I want to share, I want to wake up in the morning with someone. I want to cook dinner together and, you know, I mean, and work out together, because that's all we can do right now, right? And I tell you, choosing the right partner is so important. You know, I don't know if you like, so I'm sharing something a little about me that's a little vulnerable, is my mom passed away in April during the pandemic. And it was it still is hitting me, right? It's really close with my mom, and it was unexpected, and it's very painful. And my husband and I are the only ones together, right? I couldn't be around family. And you know, talk about a man, you know, I cry every day because of my mom passing away, and, you know, and it's normal, I'm grieving. And my husband is there to hold me, to hug me, doesn't, you know, tell me that I should be any different, supportive, loving, and someone there to, you know, dry my tears, and someone there that's going to make me laugh. And that's just priceless to be able to have that, and especially during this time when we're going through so much. So thank you for allowing me to share that, and how important it is in our lives to have that special someone that's going to be there with you during these challenging times. Now, Karen, 71, I mean, if she can do it, anybody can do it. She came to me, she was widowed, And she had tried online dating for 5 years. She was on 5 sites, and she was committed. You know, she's like, I want this. I had a great connection with my late husband, and I wanted it again. And but there were some things that were missing. She was used to dating in the a long time ago, right? When she first met her husband. It's a different world now, as you can see. You need to upgrade your dating skills. You need to upgrade her mindset. And she was settling because she didn't think that she was able to meet somebody because of her age. So she was in a relationship that wasn't for her. Within a month, we had her end that relationship very quickly, you know, and she felt good about herself, got online, and she met, oh, I don't have a picture of him. I guess I took that out. Oh, well. But she ended up meeting somebody, and she's been with him for 2 years now, and they are going strong. So it is possible no matter what. So what are the shifts, right? High standards. Online dating can work. You have the love map strategy, release your single string. And another thing that's so important that I see is investing in mentoring, like having some outside help, because it's so tough to do this on your own. I mean, I know I had tried it for many years, and I ended up getting myself a mentor, and still use mentoring for different things in my life. And so you want to think about, you know, and I'm a personal development junkie, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years. I would invest my last penny in someone to help me or take a personal development course, because it pays off tenfold. I mean, not only that, you know, when you start working on the inner work, and you have somebody help you with that, because we have blind spots. We can't see beyond ourselves. We don't know, you know, what am I doing? But not only can it shift your love life, women, you know, women have made more money when we work together. They've lost weight because you're shifting the inside, and they're just radiating, you know, and they're just living this dream life of everything just working out. And so um, you have a choice. And you know, the choice is, you know, you can take this information, try to run with it yourself, and you certainly can. Um, or, you know, you can get some help, and I'm here to give you some help, you know, how we can have a call together and talk about, like, what kind of help do you need. You know, everybody's different. That's the one thing with women that work with me. It's personalized. It's personalized to your situation, you know, what has happened to you in your past, and it's personalized to what you desire. And maybe what, you know, what are some skills you need, or maybe you don't need online dating skills, but maybe you need some belief shifts, right? And so I would like to help. And so I did set aside some time this week. We're going to offer a complimentary coaching call for you, and we can get on, you know, we're going to uncover, you know, what are some of those beliefs that could be holding you back, and what is it you deeply desire, like, really, and what's important, you know, for what kind of relationship and man do you want that's going to have it sustain and be loving and be committed and really have the, you know, the time of your life right now, because you can. And you know, this isn't for everybody, but it is for you if you are like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm done with this shit. I want some help. I'm tired of doing this alone, and I'm ready to take it on. So you can book a call, and then we're going to go to Q&A in one more second. But I want to offer this because I have about 10 slots available next week, because we're going into Labor Day weekend. But here's the, whoops, let me leave that up. And I'll put it in the chat too, so that you can access it there. Hopefully, do I have it? Yep, there it is. You can book a call with me here, and we're going to spend about a half hour together, half hour, 45 minutes. Um, and you know, if you find that, you know, oh, it's not for me, you know, to work together, that's okay too. You'll get a lot out of the call. Um, but so that could be really exciting for something for you to do this week. And just to leave you, like, let's just, I'm going to give you a little exercise right now. So put everything down and just close your eyes and just take some nice deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out and just connect with your body. Drop down into your body, and you can even put your hand on your heart and just notice how you're feeling. Breathing into that. Notice how you're feeling and breathe into that. Just imagine it's 5 years from now, and you are in this amazing, loving relationship with the perfect man. I mean, the perfect man for you. And it's loving. He cherishes you, adores you, you adore him. What would you be doing? What do you think would be the most optimal scenario of what you would be doing? Would you be snuggling on the couch together, kissing, watching your favorite movie, cooking dinner together? Maybe you're going away on vacation, you're holding hands on the beach. Come up with your, what would feel so good if you had this relationship right now, and what's possible. Just envision that. Vision that, see it, feel it. How would it feel? Would it feel exciting? Would it feel loving? Would it feel the cherishment, the connection, the love? Tune into that feeling and allow it to radiate from your body and out through your body, and just tune into that. And that is so amazing. Do that exercise every day. Tap in to that vision, that feeling of a vision. It's a form of little meditation that you want to do on a daily basis. Very good, everyone. Very good work. All right. So I'm going to leave you with a quote, and then we'll go on to questions. So your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Rumi. Very nice. Very nice, everyone. So I'm going to, let's see here, and we can start taking some questions. We'll first start off with the chat. Okay, so here we got some, this is from Sasha. Would you suggest asking on the first date if they are interested in a committed relationship? Well, that is a really great question, Sasha. One of the things that I recommend to my clients to say in the beginning, what brought you on to Match.com? So if you're online dating, it's a great thing. And that's going to tell you a lot. Because they're going to say, well, I'm just looking for a friend. I just got out of a relationship. Or someone will say, well, I'm looking for the love of my life, a committed relationship. Ding, ding, ding. That's what you want to hear, right? If you met someone, like, say, at the dog park, that's going to take some time. See, that's the one thing too why online dating can work and work really fast. Most of the time, people are on there to be single. Now, I know that there are men on there that are married, men who are looking for hookups. We know that. That's one of the flaws of online dating. And there's the scammers, right? But everything has its ups and its downs, right? It's your job to be able to do things differently with online dating. That's going to set you up for success to avoid those types, right? So, like I said, you can say, what brought you here? you want to listen very carefully. And then the other thing you get when they say that, and you could do that through the questionnaire when you're questioning emails, a question in an email, or you could do it when you get together. And you can always say, when you ask a question, you want to say afterwards, tell me more. Oh, tell me more about that. So you're looking for a committed relationship? Oh, tell me more. What are you looking for? Um, yeah, and I don't know, why are we even afraid to even ask things like this, right? Because let's just face it, especially if you're doing online dating, look, we're here to meet somebody to spend the rest of my life with. Well, why aren't we asking these questions? Of course, you don't want to come across as an interviewer, like you're interrogating them. You can be fun and playful, which is the key when you're asking questions. But you could even say, hey, you know what? I don't want to sound like I'm an interrogator here. I'm here to have fun. I want to get to know you. But it is important to me that I don't waste my time. I want to be in a relationship. And so I just want to know what is your intentions? See, and it's confidence. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next question. We have great questions here. You mentioned the search would filter by word or standard. Where do you have this feature on Match? Yeah, that is the feature is there's a special search feature. I think it's under Discover, and then it's called word search. There's a specific thing that you can type in any word that you want. That's one of the things that's great about Match.com, and why a lot of my clients meet their love of their life on Match.com or Our Time. eHarmony seems to be a little tricky, and it does depend upon where you live too. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so I just kind of get off tangent there. So Match is good. Okay, so Karen, I'm told I look 20 years younger than my age. On online sites, I lead with my age. I attract older men that I'm not interested in. I do have an incredible casual playful photo by professional online dating that suggests comment on the sites, suggestions. So let's see, I'm kind of trying to understand what this question is. What's the question? You are not getting them, Karen. So you said I look 25 years older. I'm just trying to do this in a hurry. Maybe you should book a call with me. I attract older men that I'm not interested in. Okay, so that's the thing. You're attracting the wrong men. Well, this is the big thing, ladies, and you might not like what I'm going to, well, a couple things. One is, I know we are going over here a little bit, so that's okay if you have to leave. But number one, you do the searching. A lot of times we're waiting for the men to contact us. And to me, it is feminine for you to do the searching and also contact the man, because you're just giving a little nudge. Hey, here I am. And then they'll take over. You want to see if they take over with it. But you do the searching so you stop wasting your time with people contacting you. So that's what I would suggest. That's part of the reason. And then the other reason could be what's going on in your energy state. What's going on in your beliefs. That would be two reasons to make that change, and that you could find the love of your life, Karen. Preeti, how do you introduce your adult children to someone you're considering as a future life partner? I'm not sure. What do you mean, how do you? Do you mean when? I like to wait until before I introduce, a lot of family members that, that you're, kind of sure that, hey, we got something here, and get together for dinner. Just have fun with it. It's all how you're thinking and believing. What are your thoughts around getting together and meeting? Is there some fear around there? How can you feel confident? How can you feel excited? How can you feel playful? Um, maybe you're thinking when. So probably more, down the road. I wouldn't do it right away, because you have to get to know each other first before you start bringing other people into the mix, feeling good about the relationship together before you bring people into the mix. Let's see. I feel I have a belief about being invisible because I've sent 15 messages and no one answered. I'm feeling better, more aligned about what I want. I find it funny now that this is a good thing. Okay, Natalie. So maybe you're turning around your belief that you feel invisible. So you'll know you're turning your beliefs around. You'll see the shift, because my client that hired a matchmaker was married, divorced. She did online dating, did not have great results. And then when her and I started working together, 30 days, she was dating 4 men. She couldn't, she was fighting them off like flies. So you'll know that you changed your beliefs when you see the results. That's the big key. So Preeti, when my kids ruined my last reading because they thought my standards were too low. Well, that's a good thing. There's something around that where, you have to tune into what's important to you. And if you know for sure that this was a good man, you have to make yourself happy. Of course, your kids are an important part of your life, but it's also important that you make yourself happy. So I would wait at least, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months before I would introduce my children to, the one. And then, so make sure you're secure in the relationship and you know that this is a positive relationship. So, okay, great. This has been so amazing. I'm so happy all of you came. And we have, let's see, I got my little, you still have an opportunity if you want to have a call with me. Like I said, we'll talk about what's going on in your love life and how can we shift it around, have that quantum love shift that you deserve. And I'll be sending an email out too, with this link if you missed it or you're having a hard time getting to it. So we'll have a happy weekend and much love and safety and blessings. And I love you all. And thank you so much for being here. And I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.